Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And if it's your first time here, I'm Janetta, an author who loves to draw. On my channel, I focus on combining storytelling with art. If that's something you're interested in, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's get to it. Candace found a parking space near the lakefront in Chicago and turned off her car. How did I let her talk me into this? Kelly, her sister, had joined a running club and had the brilliant idea that Candace should give it a try. Ignoring the one huge hurdle, running was close to the top of the list of things she hated to do. Kelly was determined to get her to try it and had bugged her to the point that she wanted to muzzle her. Instead, to keep the peace, Candace had finally agreed to try it once, only if Kelly agreed that she wouldn't bother her about it ever again. Now today was the day, and there was no part of her that was looking forward to what was about to take place. With only 5 minutes to spare, she exited the car and headed to the meeting place in Medway Pleasance Park. Spotting the group of runners forming in all shapes, sizes, and ages, she looked for Kelly, who told her she would be wearing a bright red windbreaker. Kelly spotted her first and jogged over to greet her. "I was starting to think you weren't coming. Let me walk you over to your group." She fell into step beside her, then led her to a group off to the side of the larger group. "I'm not running with you." Kelly laughed, but then quickly stopped when Candace gave her the stink eye. "No, I'm in the intermediate group. You need to start with the first timers. Phyllis, this is my sister Candace. This is her first time today. Can you keep an eye on her and make sure she doesn't sneak off before the run?" Kelly introduced her to an ageless woman whose gray hair was in direct contrast with her youthful face and physique. Kelly barely gave Phyllis a chance to agree before she rushed off to her group. "I can tell by the look on your face that you would rather be anywhere but here. You'd be surprised how many of our members used to feel like you. Come on, I'm about to lead the warm-up and walk through some instructions and quick drills before we set off for the lake." Candace followed her over to the rest of the group of beginning runners, greeting the ones she made eye contact with while trying to beat down the dread. The more advanced running group were already on their run by the time the beginning runners were ready. Already predicting she would be the slowest nail in the pack, Candace started near the back of her first 1-mile jog. Phyllis blew a whistle to let them know to start, and the group took off as one unit. Quickly, the unit broke into groups as the overachievers led the pack, and Candace brought up the rear. She ran to the internal chant in her head, "I hate running," which she knew was self-defeating, but didn't care because it was true. The first quarter mile was them just getting to the running path on the lake. The main thing she hated was the body jiggle. As she slowly bounced along, it felt like jello was jiggling around her bones. While she wasn't fat, she wasn't fit either, and running made that perfectly clear. Candace fought for her breath as her lungs caught fire. She could see the lake path ahead, which meant she was almost a quarter way through the torture. Where the hell was the second wind she was supposed to get if she pushed through? She saw a few of the people in her group struggling a few yards ahead of her, but had no desire to try to catch up or pass them. She trailed them until they neared the halfway turnaround mark and was happy enough to be able to do that. The more advanced group had run farther, but were now on their way back. As they passed the slower runners, they shouted words of encouragement. "Look up, beautiful." A deep baritone voice called to her as it passed by. She looked up from watching her feet hit the pavement, but the owner of the voice was already behind her on his way back to the park. Realizing she was at the turnaround point, she circled back, trying not to lose her pace. It was then she noticed the world around her. The lake lapping in gentle waves, the trees budding with the newness of spring, and couples sitting looking out over the water. She took as much of it in as she could until sweat started dripping into her eyes, causing them to burn and match the burn that was rebuilding with a new vigor in her lungs. Kelly ran past her and called, "Get it, sis. See you at the finish." Candace didn't have enough breath to answer, planning to curse her out later. On the last quarter mile back to the park, an old man ran past her, a toddler on a big wheel, and then his 2 walking parents passed her as well. "I hate running. I hate running. At this point, she wouldn't be surprised if a turtle passed her. The last one in, she cringed as the others cheered her on. Once she finished, she bent over and placed her hands on her knees, trying to catch her breath. Kelly came over. Good job, sis. I'm proud of you. Thanks. Can I go home now? Candace managed to get out between breaths. You need to do final stretches first. Oh, and we are going to grab some breakfast after if you want to join us. I'll pass. Candace finally stood and took the bottle of water Kelly handed her. Are the stretches mandatory? No, of course not, but peace out. Candace turned and headed to the car. Have fun. Thanks for the invite. No need to invite me again, she said, walking away. But you did so good, Kelly called after her. Realizing her sister wouldn't be turning around and coming back, she rejoined the group. Is that a friend of yours? Dwayne, one of the advanced runners, asked Kelly. Sister. It was her first time out. Kelly looked back at Candace, retreating back. She's not joining us for breakfast? His baritone voice had a hint of disappointment that made Kelly take note. A flicker of mischief flashed in Kelly's eyes. Not this time, but she will be back. Kelly smiled and he smiled back. Good to know. I'll see you later at breakfast. He jogged off, leaving Kelly to her thoughts. She already decided her sister would be back, despite her agreeing not to bother her about it again. And Candace was going to love running for a reason she wasn't expecting. See you later, future brother-in-law, Kelly said under her breath, then laughed. Hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be and stay blessed.